What is up, guys? Eric here from Real Film Reviews, bringing you another movie review, this time for the new Louis C.K. film, The Secret Life of Pets. The Secret Life of Pets stars Jenny Slate, Kevin Hart, and Louis C.K. in the lead role, and is the story of the dog Max, who has this owner that he loves very deeply, and then she brings home another dog named Duke, and Max does not like Duke. So then when they go out with their dog walker, Duke tries to get Max basically kicked out and lost in the city of New York. But he fails, and they both end up on this roller coaster of an adventure to get back home after they have been lost into the sewers and have met all of these different characters throughout the city. The Secret Life of Pets is made by Illumination, and Illumination is the same studio that made Minions. And if you know me or have seen my reviews, you know that I am not a fan of the film Minions. I do like the Despicable Me movies, and so going into this, I didn't really know how to feel. I thought that the cast was very impressive, and I think that this movie delivered in some ways, but is nowhere near being the best animated film that's come out this year. Now, as I mentioned before, the cast of this movie is really good, and it's also a lot of people that you really wouldn't expect for a children's animated film. You have Louis C.K., who is arguably the most famous, and for good reason, stand-up comedian alive right now. He is absolutely hilarious, but he's also known for having extremely adult humor, so him voicing a character is sort of strange. You also have Hannibal Buress voicing a side character, again, another extremely famous stand-up comedian, but known for being very adult, and he's in this film. But I think that besides that, everyone in this movie works. Kevin Hart is also someone that's known for that, though I think in the film realm, he's decided to stick more to the PG-13 area because he knows he can make more money there. And I think all of them actually worked really well. I really enjoyed Louis C.K. as Max because, for one thing, it was just really funny to hear Louis C.K.'s like extremely cynical grown-up voice coming out of this little white and yellow dog. But he's also from New York, and I felt like when I was watching this movie, I got that sense from Louis C.K. voicing the dog that this dog is from New York. He is a New York dog. This movie has a very funny concept. The idea that when we're away, our animals do strange things and they hang out with each other and they go on adventures. So I think for a children's movie, it works very well in that sense. I think the concept for this film is very good. However, I don't think it was executed properly. I think that there are definitely funny parts. I think that the side characters in this movie, and for that part, most of the characters in this entire film are very cute. They're little animals that you'd want a plush doll of. They're little pets that you can put on things and a kid would want to buy it. But I don't think that the movie is a great animated film. I don't think the story has a great moral to it in the end, and I don't think it's as funny as it could have been. It did have funny parts, and I think most of those funny parts are in part to the voices coming out of these characters. Louis C.K. saying things that sound like a Louis C.K. joke that he would say on stage. And I was in a theater that had a decent amount of children in it, and it didn't seem like the children were even really enjoying the comedy in this film. I will give it props that it wasn't like leaning on gross comedy or really childish comedy. It did actually try to have some well-written jokes in the film, but I just don't think a lot of them landed. And I think one of the big issues with that is this movie is exceptionally dark for a children's film. Kevin Hart plays the rabbit in this film, and to be honest, his character is kind of insanely messed up for a children's movie. There is a lot of discussions of death and murder in this film. Like, I mean, killing and killing other animals and killing humans and people dying. There is a lot of talking in those words in this movie, and for a children's movie, it felt very out of place. When you meet the character of the rabbit, initially, he's kind of funny because he sort of got a screw loose, but then as he moves forward, you start to realize, like, this is actually kind of a sadistic idea that this rabbit has with all of his friends, and I don't know if I can really get behind this being in a kid's movie. The film was also kind of all over the place. There was a really random montage sequence thrown into the middle of the movie. It also tries to put in different moments that are supposed to feel very heartfelt and get you to, you know, weep those Pixar tears, but this isn't Pixar, so I felt like almost all of them didn't work. There was really only one that sort of made me feel a little bit, but even then it wasn't like a cry or like a, oh my gosh, it's so sad, like you get in those great Pixar films or other great animated movies, and I felt like most of them were just reaching. They were reaching for another movie's like cry scene. Like there was one scene in this film that I thought was very, very, very much like the beginning scene in Up, and I felt like it was trying to copy that essence except for with the pet instead of his wife, and it just didn't work to me. I'm gonna give The Secret Life of Pets a B-. I think that this movie does what it accomplishes to do, which is entertain children for an hour and a half. However, I really don't think that it carries anything all that special as a children's film, and I really feel that Illumination was putting a lot of eggs in this basket to work on sequels for this movie, and I don't know if it'll work out. But if you want to take your kids to something, because you already saw Finding Dory and Angry Birds and Zootopia and everything, they will enjoy it. There are moments that you will enjoy, but as a whole, I think that this movie sort of fails at being a great children's movie. Well guys, as always, I'm Eric. If you enjoyed this review, please do like, subscribe, comment down below what you thought of The Secret Life of Pets, share everything we do here on Real Film Reviews, and I hope to see you guys later.